What Crossings does for people who are not preachers is that it allows them to hear a good sermon, even if one might not be preached.
All of my imperfections, being smart for generosity.
It's become such a way of life for me.
Crossings is not a sect of Christianity. Crossings is a tool that we use to understand Christianity.
A way of understanding life. It's a lens.
It really is good, and it is something new.
The Crossings Conference is really focused on the issue of taking the gospel and making it cross over into people's daily lives. A really exciting thing this time is that a number of people at the conference are people who are coming to the Crossings Conference for the first time, which means that somewhere or other they got a clue, they got a taste of the kind of theology we were doing, and they thought, I want to learn more. One of the things that's really resonating for me at this conference is to hear the synergy among voices and theological perspectives. In particular, at this conference, we've had Francisco Herrera from Decolonize Lutheranism and David Zahl from Mockingbird Ministries. Neither of them has had a particular connection with the Crossings community, and yet as they talk about what the gospel means in the context in which they're working and the context in which they're living, there is so much connection with the way we at Crossings have been talking and living. And so it feels like discovering family you didn't know you had. The Crossings model for connecting the Word of God with daily life is how I was trained to do theology when I was in seminary, studying with Ed Schrader and Bob Bertram. Having a conference like this to come to is a marvelous opportunity to be with others who share that view and share that commitment. It's a marvelous opportunity to be re-energized and to hear the gospel spoken in powerful ways from others. If there weren't this conference to come to, in some ways, for me, it wouldn't make a difference because I'm going to keep on thinking and preaching and teaching this way anyway. I do think the power of the conference for reinforcing community and also for expanding community as we bring new people into the conversation and encourage new people to think about gospel-centered theology this way is a value. Sometimes when we talk about the gospel in church or in theology, people operate under the assumption that we all know what it is, and they look for new and different things to say. I think really where the rubber hits the road with Crossings is to say the gospel doesn't need to be dressed up, it doesn't need to be changed. The gospel as God's good news for us in our lives is absolutely central. And yet, how that gets applied to different issues or in different contexts or at different times, even from one week to the next, that's where things get real. How do we take that eternal good news and make it today's good news for these people? I think people are hungry for that, not just to know the platitudes, not just to hear the same old, but to hear the good news in a way that is both good and as fresh and new for me today as the sun rising every day.